It's DEW Time with Pastor Steph.
Good morning, and good morning. Rise and shine. You're on with this DEW Time with Pastor Steph. How are you this morning? That's what I like to hear. For this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So, where were you all week? Oh, we started off shaking the Monday morning blues with the DEW Time crew. And we talked about modesty. Yes, our modesty is important. You know, we had a situation where some ladies went to a restaurant and they were very upset when they found out that they were stopped. And others were not stopped. They were told that their clothes were too revealing or too short, and they were really upset because, guess what? The other people who had just walked out, they had the same issue. Yep, they had those same short dresses and revealing, what they call extremely revealing clothing, and they said they wanted to take it to court. And my question was, why not just fix your clothing? I'm not about to jump up and down in waste no courtroom time over something that I can fix. But see, when you don't think anything's wrong with you, there's nothing to fix. And that's what ended up happening. Well, I'll switch with Shantice. That tip ended up just the same. Just be about real modesty. I may not be saying the caption right, but at the end of the day, that's exactly what it boils down to. Just be modest. So something to think about, because modesty does not only come in your clothing. Ooh. Well, let's talk about it. Tuesday, Church Folk Day rolled around, and oh boy, we talked about falling into a reprobate mind. What is happening that we are rejecting God so much for so long that God has gotten to the point where he said, listen, I told you, I warned you in my word that ignoring me will leave you to you. I'm just going to step off. I'm not forcing you to do anything because, hey, I'm a God of free will. I'm not changing my mind on this one. I'm going to let you do what you want to do, but understand that there will be some consequences. And we read just a couple of verses as to how that will result, what that would result in. And I tell you one thing, I'm following God, because being left to a reprobate mind is quite scary. Yes. Well, we got to talking with our girlfriend Vivian at her Socially Conscious segment. And we talked about the fact that 450,000 people in New York will be soon left without health care. Now, for a country such as this, we have managed the country's money so poorly that 450,000 people will either be left with no health insurance, modified health insurance, very little health insurance. Well, either way, shame on us. Shame on us. The wealthiest country in the world, pretty much. Yes, everybody runs over here to get whatever we have, and we can't even take care of our own people. Well, the ladies are pointing to, what's his name, as the problem. What is he spending so many thousands of and millions and billions of dollars on that New Yorkers can't even have health insurance? And I can tell you this much, it's not only the New Yorkers, there's some other states that are enduring the same thing. Well, Therapeutic Thursday rolled around and all the conversation was on and popping. We talked about a young man who had found $10,000 and returned it. And not only did he return it, but he didn't even want the reward money. Well, we asked the Due Time crew, if you found 10,000 unmarked dollars in the bathroom on the floor, the way this young man did at the age of 17, what would you do? Because he quoted, what would Jesus do? Yes. And that's not the way God would want me to handle it. There's no, you got to make sure you got some character along with that money. Well, the Due Time crew, the heaviest side of the Due Time crew, said they would take that money and run. And Brother Allen, myself, said, nah, we wouldn't sleep at night, because there might be something on the opposite end of that. But not because, we stole the money, in a sense, because, again, making very clear that this is 10,000 unmarked dollars. There's nothing in these two envelopes to indicate who it belonged to. So it really begs to, understand that it's much easier to make that decision of taking it and just going about your business than if you actually knew whose money it was. So we got some opposition on that decision of taking it and leaving. What would the other countries believe? Well, God's message yesterday was not just, would we take the money, but your integrity overall. Are you so integral in one area and you're so negative, low in the other area? Sometimes certain things for people come just like that, and others, there's a little, maneuvering that has to be done, a couple extra prayers that need to take place to make that happen. And yeah, that's how it goes down. So we want to make sure that we are looking across the board. Each and every day we are going before the Lord and we are asking God to give us a clean heart, not just that little piece that benefits us, not that every other week thing, but across the board. So it was a really, really, really good conversation. So that's how we spent our week. Well, I hope you spent it along with us, because we had an absolute ball. Well, today is Freestyle Friday, and we get to do whatever it is we want to do. Well, talk to the men is what we do. And we're about to get this party started. So go ahead and get that healthy breakfast. Go ahead and tell somebody, anybody, everybody that it's Due Time with Pastor Steph is on. And whatever you do, don't go anywhere, because we will be right back.
God's timing is so perfect. God's timing is so perfect. What you've been praying for, what you've been asking for, what you've been going after, you keep on forcing, you keep on pulling. You don't have to. God's timing is absolutely perfect. He hears you. He sees you. He knows what you're going through. What he's asking from you right now is patience. What he's asking for you right now is understanding. What if everything that you're going through right now is preparation for what God has for you? God's timing is perfect. God's timing has never let you down. You've been through a lot. Think about all the battles and everything that you've been through, the scars. But God has always came through. God's timing, not yours. Don't lean on your thinking. God's timing is absolutely perfect. Your time is coming. This is your season. This is your moment. Everything that you've been praying for is coming, but it's all on God's timing. What I ask of you is to keep going, keep pushing, keep striving, keep digging, keep praying, keep going after what you want, because when it comes, God's timing is perfect.
good morning, and good morning again. Welcome back to It's Due Time with Pastor Steph, and it is Freestyle Friday. I love that PSA. Just a reminder that God's timing is what matters. God's timing is on point no matter what we got going on, no matter what we want to do, no matter what we're hoping to do. God's timing means everything. And every episode that we have here on It's Due Time with Pastor Steph, the timing is perfect. Every single episode, some topics we could have had last week or the following week, but whatever it is coming through just as it needs to. And that's the way I felt yesterday when I was closing the show. I felt that way yesterday when I was closing the show, when we were talking about integrity across the board. I just kept being led by the Spirit of God to just talk about that because somebody needed to hear that yesterday. And that whole issue of, would you keep the money or give the money back was only a segue into what God really wanted us to hear, what God really wanted us to know yesterday. So I really appreciate that PSA because God's timing is really everything. And that's why we need to make sure that we do whatever it is we need to do. We got to stop being so sensitive about everything. We have to start thinking more broadly or broader. There should be more broader thinking. We have to really look in the mirror. A lot of times things are not what they appear. And because we're so sensitive, everything gets knocked, out of kilter. Earlier this week, Monday evening, we talked about church hurt, Pastor KL and myself, and, only to find out that it really struck a chord with, people. And the following morning, that was Monday, no, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, we ended up talking about something that struck a chord with a viewer. And again, it's God's time, and people need to hear what they need to hear just when God needs them to hear it. And, Pastor KL mentioned that he preached a sermon, I'm preaching, or I'm listening, something to that effect. I'm so sorry, but you're not talking to me, and that's exactly what happens. But it's God's timing. It is his timing when we either deliver these messages, these words, or when it's time for us to hear it. And I think we miss the mark a lot of the times. So, these PSAs that Shantice is finding and playing for us, the timing is perfect. We need to hear those things. And we really need to stop looking across the table and look in the mirror. I can't tell you how many times relationships are shattered because everybody's feelings they wear on their sleeves. Like, yo, get it together. Let's get this together. Stop being so daggone sensitive. Stop being over in the corner whining and crying. And we got a lot of stuff to be concerned about. And while we over there paying attention to these small little things, there's some bigger things that the alarms are going off and the sirens are, just ringing and ringing and ringing. And we just oblivious because you didn't do this, and he didn't do that, and she didn't do that. Yo, get it together. Every time someone doesn't do anything, you really don't understand why. How many times have you found out later, or how many times have we looked at movies or shows and the biggest thing is misunderstandings? Some of these comedy shows from back in the 90s, the whole dynamic of the show was to show what happens when people misunderstand. When they look at things, what they thought it looked this way, and then they're like, oh, and we as viewers, we're seeing, oh, this is actually what happened, but this over here, these people over here in the show or the sitcom or the movie, they don't see the other side, and they're over there creating all this havoc internally, telling everybody what didn't happen and they're so unhappy, and yet it's so innocent. So my prayer is that, you check with God's timing. Check on God's timing, because that's what it all boils down to. His timing. In one shape, form, or fashion. I got that one right there. It ain't just his timing like that, like he's talking about. But again, it's a broader scope of God's timing. When things happen in your life, opposed to what happens in your life. Yeah, it's all connected. So pray for a broader way of thinking so we can kind of connect to all the things that God wants us to connect to. Okay? All right. This is my elaborating on the PSA. Well, let's say good morning to everybody in Due Time World. If you're out there, check in. I don't know if you're in the house. If you don't let me know, we got to check it from our boy Serge. Hey, Serge, thank you so much for checking in. We got to check in from our King Terrence. Good morning, Your Highness. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us. We have a check-in from our girl, Ketty. Hey, Ketty girl. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And we can't go any further without saying good morning to the ladies that hold it down for us each and every day. Let's say good morning to our girl, Shantice. Hey, Shantice. Thank you so much for joining us. And let's say good morning to our girl, Anika. Good morning, Anika. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, I do have, what do I like to call it? My little trivia this morning. And it's Celebrity Day over here on this Due Time with Pastor Steph. And I crossed something, an article, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to talk about this one because I don't know who's on the list. So they have a list of people who they say they could not believe, these Black celebrity couples, they still can't believe have gotten a divorce. Now, I really want to know who's on this list because I think there's only one that I can really think about. But as I go through the list, we'll see who they talked about. And I'll let you know at the end if anybody that I thought I would have really hoped they stayed together is on this list. And listen, join me. You know how we do. Put it in the chat room. The first one that comes up is who? Will and Jada. Yes, yes, yes. So we know that they're not legally divorced, but word has been out. Oh, it's like 10 years now. 10 years that we heard that they have not been together. And some people like, dang, I really wish that they had stayed together. We got a check in from Sharita. Hey, Pastor. Sharita Carr, watching from Detroit. Hey, Sharita. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you know Pastor Kim? Oh, that's our girl out in Michigan, Detroit area. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. Hang around and see what we're talking about today. All righty. We got Tony Braxton and Carrie Lewis. They say they're a beautiful R&B love story that quietly came to an end. Carrie Lewis. Carrie was, what's this? You Send Me Swinging. What's the name of this group, Shantice? Oh my goodness gracious. What's her name? Tony Braxton and Carrie Lewis from the other R&B group. Help me out. I can't think of the name of it. Let's see. Usher and Tamika Foster. Well, you really need to be into Usher to know that one because I don't know nothing about no Tamika Foster. No, that one went right over my head. All right, another couple who they were like, oh man, I can't believe they broke up. Janet Jackson and Wissam Almana. Oh well. I don't know. I don't know nothing about. I know Janet Jackson. They've been with a couple of people, but I don't know nothing about no Wissam Almana. All right. Sharita says, yes, she's my sister's auntie. Oh, yes, we love us some Pastor Kim. She makes my heart beat. All righty. We got Terrence who says, we're happy they're not together. Will and Jada. Okay. All right. So Terrence is on the other side of the fence from these people. He's like, I don't need Will and Jada to be together. I'll let you know if anybody comes up on my list. But if somebody comes up in your on your list, in your mind, let me know. All right. Mary J. Blige and Kendu Isaacs. Now, I do remember them being an item. I don't remember them being like a favorite of mine. Well, Mary ain't a favorite of mine, so I think that's the one we really knew about because she used to be with Casey from Casey and JoJo. Yeah. Shantice, you didn't get me. You send me Swinging People. I need that name. I can't think of it. It's right on the tip of my tongue. When you said I'm going to be mad. Stevie J and Faith Evans. Who cares about Stevie J and Faith Evans? They were like, phew. They were like a fleeting wind. All of a sudden, you just saw them together. That's why they didn't last. We never heard of no Stevie J and Faith Evans until they got married. And then we were like, well, wait a minute. And then when we looked up, they were a puff of smoke. All righty. Let's see. Mint Condition. Thank you. There we go. I was like right on the tip of my tongue. All righty. Thank you kindly. Dr. Dre and Nicole Young. They say one of the most expensive and public divorces in hip hop history. Wow. Wow. Well, boy, y'all got some comments going on here. Let's see what's happening here. We've got a thank you from someone. I can't pronounce that name, so I'm sorry. But thank you back. We appreciate you being on. We got Terrence who says should have been Usher and Chili from TLC. They were together, y'all? Oh, see, that went over my head. I didn't know. Oh, is that your wishful thinking, Terrence? All right. And Anika says, who cares about Stevie J and anybody? I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't know about no Dr. Dre and this woman young. Common and Angela Rye. A relationship that blended love and intellect. Well, he's with, what you call him now? Jennifer Hudson. So maybe, maybe they'll make it. Maybe they'll make it. All righty. Nene Leakes and Greg Leakes. I know they didn't put this on this list. I'm with Anika. Who cares about Nene Leakes, period? She is so corny, whack, and insignificant. At least to me. That's just my opinion. But yo, she's whack. She's whack. Terrence is agreeing with Anika. He says, I agree 100%. They actually divorced and remarried, showing how complex love can be. That don't mean that love, no. They ain't got nothing to do with love, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's about love. I'm sorry. Now, Lala Anthony and Carmelo Anthony is on this list. A couple that felt solid for years before things changed. We know Lala. She's all over the place now. Carmelo Anthony from the Knicks and some other basketball team. And Anika says, yes, ditto. Portia Williams and Cordell Stewart. A breakup that played out on reality TV. Yeah, Portia Williams is just all over, splattered all over reality TV. Robin Thicke and Paula Patton. High school sweethearts who's split shop fans. Okay. Tamar Braxton and Vincent Herbert. A relationship filled with highs and very public lows. All righty. Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. One of the biggest cultural unions of the 2010s that did not last. Are y'all really surprised? Miguel and who Nazian Mandai. I don't know who they are, so I'm gonna keep on going. All right. Well, the one that hit me was Will and Jada. I'm sorry, y'all. I just thought I loved when they got together. I thought they were so good together, and I was disappointed. Yeah, I'm still disappointed. I'm like, you talk about Nene Leakes and what's his name getting back together. I'm like, why y'all can't get back together? Well, it happens. Lala and Carmelo Anthony. Now that one broke my heart as well. I like that couple. I thought they were really good. I was hoping they would hang out together. Another young black couple that I really thought, yeah. I'm with you, Terrence. He says, yes, I wish Carmelo and Lala stayed together. I do too. And there's one more, the high school sweethearts. Robin Thicke and Paula Patton. I really like them together. I was really hoping they could have stayed together, but they didn't. So, that was a good list. That was a good list. A couple people I had no idea who they were. So, oh well. All right, let's get to this celebrity news. Let's see what they're talking about today. All right, so we've been talking about this reboot of what's this thing? Different world, the different world. And oh yeah, Terrence says Kim and Kanye. Nah, that was a mess. Kanye with anybody is a mess. Period. Absolutely a mess. And the Kardashians, they're a mess, y'all. They're a mess. They all twisted. They're a mess. All right, so they've been talking about this reboot of A Different World, and we know that the whole theme is going to be Whitley and Dwayne's daughter is going to go back. She's going to Hillman, and they're pulling up a lot of different oldies. So they're pulling in Ron. They're pulling in, what's the crazy girl, the Mexican girl? Oh goodness gracious, Freddie. When I looked, it was what's his name? Shantice, did you really put that up there before I could say it? You know what? We're gonna fire you. Who else is coming back? They added Jada, which I was glad because I loved her as Lena James. I really, really do. I love her as Lena James. I thought she was a good addition to, the series. And they also talked about Dean Davenport, our girl who plays everybody's mama. What's her name is coming back. I can't think of her name. Jennifer Lewis. Jennifer Lewis is going to be back there. And now they've added Dawn Lewis and Glenn Turman, the ones who played the older couple. Remember, Julissa was one who she started out in the very beginning being one of the older freshmen who had been married and all that before she even came to college. Well, she ended up marrying, what's his name? I can't think of it. The Colonel Taylor. And I love Glenn Turman. He is an old school actor. I love him. He's been acting since like the 60s. I really, really like him. And I thought he wasn't like my favorite on the show, but I thought he was a pretty good addition. And, I didn't think too much of them getting married, but I just love Glenn Turman. Now, Dawn Lewis, I just never liked her. I just didn't like her. I ain't like her, and I'm gonna get you, sucker. I ain't like her in nothing I ever saw her in. She never did anything for me. But listen, hey, the only two people right now that they do not have back are two people. One, Lisa Bonet, who the whole show got launched from her character, Denise, and Marissa Tomei, which I really liked. I really liked her. I can't think of the name of her character, but I really, really did like her. So they're the only two actually, that are not coming back that, you really liked. You had like Gina and some other characters, but for the most part, for two that were kind of, and they were only in the first season, especially Marissa Tomei. She wasn't in any other season. So, all right. Terrence says Mark Anthony and Jennifer Lopez to me as well. Are you saying you would have liked them together? I actually like them together. I actually like them together. Let me know if that's what we do. Do you like separate or apart? And Anika says, agreed. Kim and Kanye was the most toxic. Man can't get his mind right since. Nope. All right. So what else are we talking about in our celebrity news? Oh, so if you hang out with us doing My Two Cents, and that Shanti's Brother Ainsley, that Brooklyn guy, and myself, we have been reviewing Reasonable Doubt since the beginning. So they've had 3 seasons, and now they are putting out there that they are getting 2 more individuals to join their cast. One, Megan Good. I was like, oh, okay. Well, she's joining the ranks of Reasonable Doubt. And I actually like Megan Good. I actually like her. And she is going to play the DA. Yeah. She's going to be playing the DA. And Tank. Is Tank's picture up there? Shantice, you can't be doing no spoiler alerts, girl. Tank, now, anybody that knows me knows I could do without Tank. Did y'all see that whack verses, by the way? Oh my goodness. Him and Tyrese. That was so corny. Oh my god! First of all, he didn't even sing half the songs. The songs he sang weren't even songs that were his. What kind of verses is that? You sing everybody else's music. But anyway, they're joining. The 2 of them are joining this cast. Remember, this has been executive produced by Kerry Washington, and I gotta say, this has been one top-notch series. Yeah, they really explore some real hard topics. And we've really been getting a kick out of watching the 2 of them, Jax and her husband. So, Now, I'm not sure who Tank will play. I hope he'll be invisible. That's all I'm saying. And I hope that's what his role is, invisible. I don't like no Tank. All righty. What else? So, I am going to move on from there for our celebrity news because I want to come and talk about that with Brother Ainsley. Tamika, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Tamika's talking about that turtleneck. What turtleneck? Who had on the turtleneck? Who had on the turtleneck? I don't know who had on the turtleneck. But she's cracking up laughing over there about this turtleneck. All righty. So we've got some real weird news this morning. And we've got this 11-year-old who's facing murder charges after killing his 5-year-old brother. This was like heartbreaking when I read this because it was amongst several news stories of siblings, brothers killing one another. And I was like, well, what kind of mess is this? But I did pick this one up. So this 11-year-old boy out in Denver is facing murder charges, 11, for killing his 5-year-old brother in what they're calling a fatal accident. So they're saying that the sheriff's office responded to a call where this 11-year-old ended up killing his brother. Now, the weird part is they're not giving any details. Now, you ain't got to give up names and all of that kind of stuff, but at least give us details if you're going to give us a news story. But the great aunt is the one talking. And she says all she knows is they were both sent to take to do two things. One was sent to take a nap, the other one was sent to do some chores. And she said during that time that the baby was asleep, and the 11-year-old brother killed himself, killed the little boy. And they are not revealing how it happened, but they're saying it was some horrendous act. And it has torn the family up because, needless to say, they've lost both their children. And that's what's been happening. We keep hearing all of this melee that is leading to death, and it's within families. So you can see the enemy is having a big ball. He's having a big ball with our children. That now we're not just worrying about our children. Now we're worrying about siblings. Oh my goodness gracious! So prayers up, for this family, and this has got to be devastating. Got to be devastating. Look at that little face. Tamika says the verses, Tyrese and Tank, the turtleneck, you had to see the whole thing. Yeah, it was sad. I've seen some good verses, and child, I've seen some bad ones. And that was one of them, Tamika. That was definitely one of them. What else are we talking about? So I had this one for a couple of days and I did not talk about it. So again, we have this setup where, these girls are setting up these boys, making them think that, they want to be them, and lo and behold, it's a trap. So you have this Missouri Miles Young, who's 15, who was shot and killed by another young teen, 18 years old. And I mean, you wouldn't be calling it a young teen, but I call it a young teen. Something went on where, this Miles, who was 15, he witnessed some type of altercation, some murder, and he was due to testify. And there's some girl, this 18-year-old got some little chick to set him up and make him think that she was interested in him. They lured him into a car, and the friend to little Miles told him, don't go. He was like, she ain't really interested in you. Don't go. Just don't go. And he did not listen. He didn't listen. And they say that he was on the phone with the friend. So the friend actually heard everything. And they were together. When the girl pulled up in the car. He got in the car. He told Miles, don't get in the car, but they stayed on the phone. And when they got to a certain distance, they were intercepted by another car. Another car blocked them. And Miles jumped out and tried to run. And he heard, this 18-year-old say, don't run now. And they shot him and killed him. Oh, Lord. This is again, our young people, our kids. So you've got these girls. These are several stories we've told where some girl set up some kid, making him believe she was interested, only to lure him to his death. And it's like, yo, this is what we really doing, girls? This is what we really doing. We're just allowing people to help us, be manipulative. So that's something you already had to have in you in order for you to follow through with something like that. Terrence says, that's weird. I wonder why they didn't give no details on that something must be missing. I was curious. I was wondering that too, because normally they've gotten to the point where they tell us the details, but they don't tell us the names because they're protecting. How you protecting somebody who kills somebody? So, whatever. But at least they would tell us the details. They're at the point now, they're not even giving details. So, my question is, so what's the point of telling the story? But I just wanted to share that with you because you need a reason to pray. We got a whole lot of reasons to pray. Our young people perishing is why we need to pray. You know what? I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna talk to my brother Ainsley about these stories and see what he's got to say. Good morning, brother Ainsley.
Hello. Hey, what's up? Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Thank God.
All right. Yes. Tamika wants to know, where are all of these youth getting access to these weapons? It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
They have gone buck wow. So let's go back a little bit, Ames. We
All
talked
right.
about the black couples that people said they hated to see break up, and they had Will and Jada on the list, which I co-signed. I'm sorry, people hate them together. I love them together. They had Paula Patton and what's his name, Robin Thicke. I actually
Right.
like them too. Um, and there was a third. I can't think of the third. But is there a couple of a black couple who you saw together and they separated and you were like, shucks, they didn't make it?
Well, first off the top of my head, first of all, Will and Jada, to me, it was good when it was good, but after a while, it's like, why are y'all together? Why are y'all continuing to stay together?
Okay.
It's bad. I'm like, why are y'all still together, man? You talking about what she had, she didn't call it affair, but still, I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh
it's
yeah,
crazy.
with that kid. Yes.
Yeah, with your child's friend. Come on now. Uh, Let me see. First of all, anybody with Kanye,
Oh please. Oh please.
anyone with Kanye, I'm like, what do you expect, man?
Oh
Um,
my goodness gracious.
uh, but everybody I agree with, I like Carmelo and Layla.
Oh la la.
They
Yes. That was the
Lala.
third one. Yes, I
Yeah,
like them
yeah,
together. I
yeah.
like them together.
They was cool. Um, Everybody else though, I was like, a lot of couples you see how I don't see it, but all power to them. I can't think of anybody right now. You say I'm surprised that they broke up.
Okay. 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 All
Um,
righty.
I really can't think of anybody off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, you got your brother, our Pastor Jeff on, and let's see if anybody kind of comes to his mind that he would have preferred
Draw my
was
memory. Yeah.
on. Yeah. Good morning, Pastor Jeff.
Good morning. Good morning. How you
Yeah.
doing? All
All right.
right.
How are
What up,
you?
bro?
Cool. What's up, brother Ainsley?
What up, bro?
All righty. So, is there a couple, they say a black couple, celebrity couple, that you wish had stayed together?
Yeah, Martin and Gina.
You're so stupid, Jeff.
I don't know why they broke up, man. It must be that big head she got. You know what I'm
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. That was a good comeback, Pastor Jeff. That was a good comeback. Is that the only couple that you wish had stayed together?
Yeah, because I can't. All these celebrity couples, man. It. I don't. There's not one that flowed that made sense or anything that I know of. That was celebrity
Okay.
couples. Seem like the ones
Okay.
that married people who were not in the limelight, were better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That is true. That is very true. Very true. All right. Let's say, well, Terrence says, yeah, brother Ainsley got that good mic. Oh my goodness. Serge says they watch too much TV. Terrence says, why we never said Jennifer Lopez and Mark Anthony are black? I don't know. They black to me. I don't know.
Oh, black enough.
Says, yeah, that's the way I feel. They could go on that list. Serge says they didn't give details because they are on the other side of the fence. No, Serge, did you see the picture? No, they're on our side of the fence. And Terrence says, don't do that to Kanye. He's a very, very intelligent man. Kim Kardashian messed him up. I'm sorry. I cannot co-sign on that one, Terrence. I don't know.
He been messed up ever since his mother passed.
Yeah, that's what got him twisted. Pastor Jeff, do you think that what's his name is a very, very intelligent man, Kanye?
I think Kanye is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And generally those people are geniuses, you know, in the area of their giftedness.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, because look, I guess for the music, he's good at that. But don't forget, this is the same man who call it genius that said slavery was a choice, right? And he said slavery was a choice. Are we going to forget that? You know what I'm saying? Come on, really? And stand on it? Oh, come on. There's certain things that's like, it's as simple as ABC. And now, come on.
Okay. Good point.
He said to me other kind of crazy stuff. It's like, yo, your mind is like, all right, I see. It's something you don't even discuss, debate, or conversate. You just see, all right, you're crazy.
Okay, well, I guess he co-signed on the craziness for himself when he said that. Come on in the room, brother Al.
Yeah, bring the basketball star on.
Top of the morning, top of the morning, God for the morning. Good morning, my brothers.
Good morning, dude.
Excuse you again. Excuse you.
I said top of the morning to you, and then I said good morning to my brother. All right, don't start no mess this morning, okay?
No.
What you doing?
I'm sorry.
What you doing?
Who is the you? The you could be the audience. You are my brothers.
I would have said audience.
I got your mic.
Don't make me get off this. Don't make me get off this and make my way to your house. Don't you do it.
Look, he's threatening me. He's threatening me on TV, on YouTube, on the internet. He's threatening me. Good morning, brother Al. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. So, is there a black couple that you wish had stayed together?
Absolutely. I wish that Big Bubba and Big Bertha would have stayed together. They went to prison and things went different. They went to prison. They made a beautiful couple until they went to prison.
What? I can't. You and Jeff, y'all need to stop. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. Well, so please, outside of Ainsley and myself, do you two watch Reasonable Doubt?
No.
Oh my goodness. Then I gotta get rid of. Sorry. I gotta get rid of y'all. All right. Let's talk about. I gotta get rid of y'all. I can't even talk about Reasonable Doubt now, because you two won't even know what we're talking about. Ainsley, we'll have this story. We'll have this conversation on My Two Cents next week, Space. All right. All right. That down, Shantice. These other two are whack. They don't look at it. All right.
So we got things to do.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't have the luxury of life like you to sit and watch these shows.
We have to work.
Do a show. We have a show. That's our work. Excuse you too. Like y'all got something better to do. Yeah, right. Well, listen, anybody who says they wish Gina and Martin stayed together and wish Big Bubba and Big Bertha stayed together, y'all ain't got no real opinions. Y'all ain't got no real opinions.
Hey, Gina and Martin, man, that was the couple. Y'all got to admit that. That was the couple.
I forgot they broke up.
our fake friends, the friends in our head. Okay, all right. Maybe there I can get you, Pastor Jeff. All right. So we've got these situations here, these two situations. You've got the 11-year-old who murders his 5-year-old. So we know that there seems to be some distress in the families these days, because that's all that was coming up in the news of these brothers, especially brothers, killing one another. But then we have this other issue where you've got this girl who set up this 15-year-old boy to make him think she likes him, only to set him up to his death. He somehow or another witnessed some incident, and he was supposed to go to court to testify. And this 18-year-old got her to set the 15-year-old up. The friend was with him when he got in the car. She pulled up in the car. The friend said, "Don't get in, whatever you do. She doesn't like you. Don't get in." And he got in anyway, and only for the friend to stay on the phone with him and hear him jump out of the car when they stopped. And he heard the 18-year-old say, "Don't run now," and shot him to his death. What are we talking about, these young girls? Because this is not the first story. We did a few stories last year about these females, getting these boys to believe that they like them, only to entrap them and get them killed. What do y'all think is the real weakness here that would allow these boys to believe this? And even the friend was saying, "She doesn't like you. Don't get in the car." And this was the furthest thing from his mind, clearly. He wanted to believe that she did like him, got in the car, and was set up to his death. Brother Al, I'm going to start with you. What do you think seems to be the problem here?
Man, I would say, straight from the end, the lack of parents talking to their children. And I deal with this so much at school. These parents just will not talk to these kids about these things. They feel that these kids are too young to know this and know that. So now these kids, they go by what their friends tell them. Their friends don't. How you gonna tell me about dating and you don't have a girlfriend?
Okay.
They listening to their friends, and their friends are saying what they think and what they would do, and then the guy, these young boys, they looking at, wow, this girl like me. You get all us fellas here. We was ecstatic when we found out a girl like us. We might have said, "Man, she don't like it." Then somebody come and tell us, "Yo, she like you." Like, really? She like me? All right, yo, that's cool. My friend's gonna like this, and it's an older woman too. Oh, I'm in the mix. And they just jumping. And these young girls, they stepping up, sadly, with doing what the boys would do. Like, they got no problem. Hey, I'm gonna kill her. I'm gonna get this body. That's what it's about now. It's so insane to me. Like even with this drill rapper stuff, it's all about how many bodies you get. And I'm like, are y'all serious?
Wow.
Like, no respect for human life. And I've seen it. Seen it. I've seen it, and I've seen interviews. And they had the person face blocked down. He's like, it's not even about the music, man. It's how many bodies you got. And I'm like, wow. Like, so we have to talk to our youth, and we just won't. I hear parents tell their kids, especially the daughters, you can't have a boyfriend till you get in high school. And here this girl is in the 6th grade dating a boy, and her mom don't even know it, because you figure, I'm telling you can't date into this, and they gonna listen. And they in school, their friends got boyfriend. No, I'm getting a boyfriend too. So it got to be conversation. That's what's big. That's really not going on in conversations.
All right, thanks for that insight, Brother Ainsley. What are we talking about here? What do you think the breakdown is?
Satan, to me, it sounds like Satan is so busy really trying to get to our youth.
Yes.
This is something I couldn't even fathom. I mean, how do you prepare your child for something like this? You know what I'm saying? Because you say 15 years old, I recall, teenage years. That's the thing back in my day. You're not thinking about you being set up to be killed. You know, under those circumstances, that's something you don't even think about. You tell your child, to be careful and not to, get into call with strangers and stuff like that. But you're talking about 15 years old, and you're talking about, like Brother Al said, you find out if a girl kind of like you, man, I'm boy, and then I started, and in that age, it's a big difference between 15 and 17, and 16 and 18, and 15 to 18. And somebody kind of like you, like what? Yo, and nobody's saying, "Oh, she don't like you." I would think, "Oh, you just hating because she like me and she don't like you." And back in the day, somebody say, "I like you," and then I kind of quasi know. I might have been in that car too. So how do you really prepare yourself for something like that? And this is really the enemy. This is really an adult situation. Now that we have to. You're talking about witness tampering, witness killing. That's what this basically is.
Yep.
It's horrendous, man. So I don't know what you don't say what that case was really, the underlying case was really about. But whoever it is, there's really somebody dangerous now to try to set up a young kid to be killed like this. And these young kids don't mind because you see that he's on the phone talking to somebody. Why would you want to commit a crime? Because now you got a witness. You ain't thinking like that.
Right.
Everybody who's associated with this is going down. Period. Their life is gone. Gone.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Gone.
Right.
18-year-old, you're young, you're an adult, you're gone. Witness tampering. You just as bad as the person who killed who pulled the trigger. So
right. That's right.
This is raising, man, it's like more reasons we got to get down on our knees and pray for our young people. And this kind of stuff we got to prepare our kids for, our young men for. You can't just be boys. That's the whole half the part of going to school that you like was, meeting girls. Interacting. And now it's going to get you killed. You set up.
Right. You don't think that far. You're not thinking that far.
I don't know.
Pastor Jeff. Thank you, Ainsley. Pastor Jeff. So they say that she picks him up in a Mercedes after she has him believe that the two of them were going to have sex. And that some people say, some other witnesses say that she previously had expressed a dislike for him because he was supposedly involved in, let me see. She mentioned a dislike for him because she blamed him for the death of a victim in a 225 homicide. And he was supposed to testify. And here he is no longer here because that was what he thought was going to happen. How do we get here as young people, setting up someone, going for the fact that, oh yeah, me and her gonna have sex? Ainsley said something real interesting. The two of them said something interesting. Brother Al says, listen, talk to your kids. And Brother Ainsley says, how do you even prepare your kids for something like this? Where does your head go?
Well, first of all, it's the oldest trick in the book from the Garden of Eden. Eve set Adam up to die. You shall surely die.
You know what? I'm just so
You going biblical with it, bro.
She said, Adam, eat this fruit. You know what I'm saying? With all that nectar, with all that nectar running down, and he couldn't help himself. So
I'm so mad.
You can't prepare your kids for that, or your boys, to get seduced by the woman into something like that, man. You got to pray just protection that don't come their way. I have a cousin. Well, I had a cousin His name is Yaki Gaddafi, and he was one of the outlaws, rappers, and he got set up in Jersey there by a woman. And as soon as he came out, they shot him. I mean, I can give you a million stories,
Wow.
and it's not just kids. I mean, they use these women. They use them to set a man up because we easy. We want to we want to feel like she like her. We want love. That lust, sex, man. That's the greatest tool to set somebody up with, and they've been doing it forever. How they kill a lot of these gangsters, through that woman. So I mean, how do you prepare for something like that? Because it's in us as men to to want want a woman. I'm talking about the normal man, the average man.
You know
For
what?
real,
Oh my
man.
gosh, I can't. I so can't. Oh my
And
Lord.
Pastor Steph, I'm sorry, and one of the biggest things too is these kids are not afraid of prison. They're not afraid of jail. And my brother's a CO in a women's prison upstate, and they were trying to do a Scared Straight program for the young girl to let them know, listen, this is not the place you want to be. So my brother, he hardcore. He was with it, like, oh, I'm gonna get in here. I want to scare these little girls, let them know you don't want to come here. My brother said
You scared him?
no. He said he got there, they had a whole bunch of the little girls, and he ready to scare these girls. And my brother said they took them girls around and showed them all the good things in prison. He said they took them upstairs. They showed them where they keep the babies at, the baby ward. When the women had a baby, the baby ward where they keep the kids. They went downstairs and took them to the puppy program, show them all the little cute puppies. And my brother said he heard about 5 girls, was like, whoa, this ain't bad. I can do this. And he said he just walked off. He's like, yo, I don't want to be a part of it. Why y'all showing them this? Show them where it's hardcore at. So these kids are not afraid of prison. They ain't got no. I've hate kids like, I don't care, I'll go to jail. And I'm like, wow.
Wow. Well, Tamika's laughing at all that nectar. To me too, Tamika. Leave it up to Pastor Jeff.
That fruit was juicy.
Look at that nectar,
eating, man.
Look at that nectar running down her lips. Look at that nectar.
Oh my goodness gracious. Only
Yeah,
Pastor
I gotta think all the
Jeff
time.
can
You gotta think all the time. Look, how many times a woman in caught us. Thinking back at the time, you don't think it right now, but it's like how many times I got caught out there, a woman just used me just because she wanted a meal to eat.
Yeah.
Got him.
I'm sorry you was a herb like that, man.
Hey, Pastor Jeff, look at Samson and Delilah. That man was strong as ever.
Look at that.
Come on, baby. Just cut that hair, baby. You look so much better.
You know what? You know what? Them women, man. Them women. I'm telling you.
Yeah, man.
You gotta have some type of influence. When several times, Samson, the Philistines are upon us several times, and you went back again when you saw that she had tricked you. Then you went back. It was like, yo, what kind of influence is this that you just keep on going back?
Delilah, I guarantee she was a black woman and curvy and had everything going on, boy.
That robe was really short and tight.
Okay.
Yeah,
oh
man.
My goodness. Oh my goodness.
And you know she was big bosom because he laid his head in her bosom. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. You ain't laying your head on a little bosom. You ain't laying your head on a little bosom. You like this.
It's right there in the scripture.
Why is Al demonstrating?
You like this.
You women been doing it to us from the beginning of time.
Hey, Pastor Jeff, you like this.
Only on his due time do they even demonstrate. Oh my goodness. Okay, and we're missing Pastor KL today. I'm glad he's not a part of this conversation because we'd be in terrible, terrible trouble. All right, I got a real interesting article here. So for those of you who watch Beauty in Black, who watches Beauty in Black? Who watched Beauty in Black? Well, I have to say, after saying I was not watching that anymore, I did go back, and this continuation is much better than the way they began. Oh my gosh, much better. But the one who
Tyler
plays
Perry one, I started watching that again. I
yes,
saw it.
yes.
It was one of those things. Go ahead.
No. It's okay. I found it a lot more interesting than the first go round. I couldn't take the first go round anymore, but I did see some preview and I was a little, interested. So I went ahead and I watched it. And yeah, of course you had to, your peaks and valleys, but the one who plays Angel actually did an interview. Now, for those who know this particular role of Angel, he plays a stripper in the club. That's the popular club where everybody goes. He has a young child with a female, but he also is playing a homosexual character to the man with all the money, if you will. So he's like his little boy toy. And they have his interview, and they have been really criticizing him. And I meant to ask Shantice to pull up the interview. I cannot believe I forgot to ask her to pull up this video. But I'll read to you what it says. I'm so mad at myself. Oh, Stephanie. Would have been better coming from him. But he says something to the effect of God loves you and that he loves all of his children, whether you're an atheist, whether you curse him, whether you live in sin, whether you're drunk, smoke weed, whatever, he still loves you. But he'll send you to hell because when you die, there's only two places, right? And if you live in sin on this earth, he's so holy, he's so grand beyond our imagination, you can't kick it with him in heaven. Not because he doesn't love you, but because he's so holy, he can't dwell with unholy people. And then he goes to say, that goes for other sinners, scoffers, mockers, liars, all things that are an abomination. It's not just the LGBT. If you're drunk, if you're an alcoholic, if you're a murderer, these are all sins that God doesn't tolerate. Well, needless to say, the LGBTQ community went LGBTQ crazy. God forbid you talk about them in any level of negativity. So I really wish that I had asked her, but that's pretty much what he says in the video because I watched the video. And I want you to think about everything he said in this video. Hold on a second. Is this her telling me we can get the video? Oh, everything he said in the video. Everything he said in the video, I read. Oh my gosh. I want to read some of the responses that came from, and I want you to respond to the responses. So Terrence says, wow, you get used for food. That's crazy. Not even money now. Yeah, unfortunately, Terrence. So one of the people says, this is why queer roles should be for queer actors only, because what in the religious psychosis is going on? Mind you, the show goes against the moral fabric of Christianity itself. So there is a lot of homosexual activity in this Beauty in Black. And that's what the comment is based on. So I want to first talk about the fact that this is a Christian man who is portraying this stripper and this boy toy to a man. What does that say for when you actually come out now and speak on a Christian level about who's going to make it in and who God can't hang with and who's separate and apart? And this person is saying, why don't you just leave those particular characters to be played by those particular people? Why are you as a Christian person involved in playing these type of roles? And I'm gonna start with you, Pastor Jeff.
Why me?
It's your
What you
thing.
trying to say? Huh?
Come on, bro.
Because it's
Come
your
on,
turn to be first, Pastor Jeff.
I feel some kind of way now.
Ainsley was first, Al was first, and it's your turn now.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, first of all, anything Tyler Perry is gonna have nothing but abomination in it, because that's who he is. Okay, his agenda is to spread that mess, and if anybody don't know that, okay, you don't know it. There's not a picture he puts on that is not gonna show that lifestyle, show that, portray that. Now, a Christian guy playing that part, he's an actor, and he's portraying whatever the character is. So I don't see, the problem in that. And then if you say the part's only relegated to the people who actually feel that way or do that, then what makes a great actor is when he becomes something he's not. You understand? When he transforms, but I tend to say if you can play that part and you got to kiss another man and lay with another man or something like that, you gay. I don't care what you say.
Okay.
But as far as that, abomination is only used for that homosexual stuff. God never said all that other stuff was an abomination. So he wasn't even preaching right anyway.
Okay. Let me go to you, Brother Ainsley.
I want to say, why me? Okay. So what's the question? So what I think what he said is wrong, or what's the question? I'll make sure
What's your thought on the comment? This is why queer roles should be for queer actors. Only because what in the religious psychosis is going on, mind you, the show goes against the moral fabric of Christianity itself. So, A, do you agree that when it comes to these roles, only queer people should participate and play, and depict these roles, as well as should Christian people, should he as a Christian man even be portraying someone who's stripping in a strip club, someone who is a boy toy to a man?
Yeah, the answer to both questions is no. All right, first of all, the alphabet community, it's like it's just certain communities that you say anything about, there's gonna be an uproar. You could be dead right. Oh no. No,
You did that pretty good, man.
I was acting, man.
He's just acting. He's acting. Shut up.
Oh yeah, I forgot. He's a great actor.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I got that skill from Stephanie, and I'm in position. I caught that skill from Stephanie. So but the answer is no, because this alphabet community is like, you say anything that's even remotely offensive, it's an uproar. Another case in point, recently there was in the NBA, I forgot the player's name, a Chicago player. He voiced his opinion about the alphabet, the LGBT. The NBA, they're going along with certain things, and he got cut from the team. And the thing was like, well, he got cut for voicing his opinion. Now, what he said to me, it was absolutely right. There's nothing wrong with what he said. The problem is, he's not enough of a star player that they're going to tolerate it. He's not a LeBron James or a Steph Curry. Well, they're going to be like, all right, well, that's just his opinion. No, they want to cut him out quick. So it's just really, you just say anything about, they're gonna move, try to get you off or canceled and stuff like that. So I'm not surprised. That's what they do. Anything you say, or act upon and say against them, supposedly, they trying to go for you. So no, I don't think he said what he said. I don't agree with everything he said, but that was mostly on point. And like, if he's an actor, I mean, so only the LGBT is supposed to get a certain job just because they're gay, or the LGBT. I mean, that's so sick. It's some things. It's like, how can you have a logical conversation with something that's so illogical? Your demented sexual desire is the reason why you need to get a particular job.
Okay.
I'm sorry. No. So only all types. So a Christian, he can't play a murderer on a TV screen. He's not a murderer in real life. And you're right. Acting is you portraying a character, a made up fictional character. So, and certain things now, like as an actor, I wouldn't do. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't wear a dress. I wouldn't be kissing another man. You could play a homosexual character. Maybe I don't know how you would do that without kissing another man. Some things I just wouldn't do. My values, I just would not do. Period. But that's something for the individual to come to terms with. But nah. Anybody should be able to play any role just based on their skill level. Period.
And man, I had a real part for you, man.
Really?
But now I know what you won't do. I can't get you for that part.
Oh my goodness. All right, Brother Als, what say you?
Oh yeah. Well, Denzel.
He's an actor. Come on now, bro. Come on, you're an actor, bro.
Denzel Washington is my favorite actor. He's just my favorite actor. I just love his work. I watch how he do. I learned so much from him. And he had a thing one day where he said that as an actor, you should have a standard of things that you would do and you won't do. Don't just do something because some people get happy. Oh man, they picked me, so yeah, I'll do it. And you have to have a standard. So number one, like I said, I would not do that part at all. Any homosexual, gay stuff, I'm not doing. I just have to miss out on the money because that's my standard, and people let that money control them. Now, as far as it's common as, only gay people should get that role, I don't think so. It's up to that individual. You may have somebody think different than me. Hey, look, I'm just acting, so I'll take the part. So that would X those people out. But I'm not doing that part, period. It's nothing to even talk about. It's no amount of money. It's just done with. And and like Ainsley said, you say anything about the African community, they go on. But what's so crazy is they can say whatever about the heterosexual community, and it's okay. So it's insane to me. I look at it, I hear some things, and I'm like, wow, you just so disrespectful to women. Now a woman say something, oh, hell breaks loose. And I'm like, that's just insane. So you have to have stand. I look at back with quite sure y'all remember that movie, what was it, Monsters Ball with what's the name? And
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
And they had the people don't know the first person they asked was oh God, what's her name? Oh man. She played Biggie mother in the movie.
Oh yes, she's gay. She's gay. Yes, I know what you're talking about. She plays on 911.
No, not her. Angela Bassett. That's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah. Oh, Angela Bassett. Oh, okay.
Right. They asked Angela Bassett to do that part first. She read it and she's like, "Oh no, sir, I'm not doing that." You know, so it's about the person. People just let money, and I don't care what people say. Oh, you take your acting to another. Why I gotta take my acting to another level by kissing another man? First of all, they're gonna keep playing crap. I'm gonna throw up every time. I'm gonna be like this.
You ain't true to your craft, man. You ain't true to your craft.
Then I won't be true to my craft because I'm not doing. They're gonna say cut about 100 times. I'm gonna keep throwing up on them. It ain't gonna be genuine. So you gotta say.
I mean, what if he just don't have a bed, man?
Pastor Jerry, would you like to do the part, sir?
Right, he mighty convincing over there, Al. I agree with you.
Look, I'll be like, I can't do the part.
I heard that Al was a great actor, man, and he's letting me know that he got limitations.
Well, thank God he does. Tamika is going where if she's going where I think she's going where I am. She says, how many actors have played roles that are contrary to their lifestyles and then ended up in therapy?
Absolutely.
Listen, y'all can say what y'all want to say as an actor or whatever. I am a writer. I'm from that angle of it. And there is some transformation that needs to take place when you act. And I will never agree that a Christian person should play someone who is homosexual. Now, here's the thing.
Absolutely.
They will say the same thing. The argument is made, well, can you play a murderer? Can you play a drug addict? Can you play a this? Can you play a that? This here is extremely sensitive. This is a very sensitive area. I have seen those who are excellent actors play people who use drugs, and they have relapsed. They have had to go into therapy, as Tamika said. There's a transformation that needs to take place every time you portray someone different. And I'm sorry, I'm not stepping into certain roles to do these things. Now, you even have the roles where people are playing like biopic roles. So, will it require you to use, quote unquote, use drugs, or will it require you to pretend like you're murdering somebody or raping someone and things like that? Here's the problem. This here is so sensitive. The conversion process is so sensitive. It really has to be an individualized thing, because certain people can't handle certain things. You have somebody like Michael Williams who died of an overdose because he was an addict in real life and would not stay away from those roles. He continued to portray a drug user, and what ended up happening, he relapsed. He ended up going, and now he's not even here because he was the one that fell into the fentanyl age, where they didn't know what they were using, but had and they talked about how he would openly talk about his struggle, but yet every time you played somebody using drugs, your first mindset should have been of self-preservation, not the dollar. Like Al said, you got to think about what's going to happen to me. So my thing is, I agree. If you are a Christian person, please stay away from that. One of the, sometimes things are a little more drastic than other things. And, so I know I'm going to hear that argument. Well, what's it? Because Ainsley raised the argument, well, should you play a murderer? My thing is, listen, that's an area I really think we need to stay out of. Really, really stay out of. So I'm not going to talk about the murderer part. I'm talking about this particular area. Has nothing to do with who I love, because one of my best friends is homosexual and I love him to death. So that has nothing to do with what I feel about that community. I do believe that that's a very sensitive community. They boy, if you sneeze hard, it's on. It's on, it's on, it's on. But I do agree that leave that to the people who live it. and let it be done. Plain and simple as that. We did a story. It was earlier this year about someone who said that he had to go into therapy over the role he played. Each time he took that role, he was in therapy to get, quote unquote, get back to who he was. So y'all, you can't believe that there's no conversion when you have to portray these roles. It's real.
But
real.
can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What about the plays, the Christian plays that need certain parts to be able to bring it out? I mean, you know, like okay, take the Passion of the Christ. Okay, that movie. Somebody had to be the one whipping Jesus. Somebody had to play, you know, Judas. Somebody you can't stay away from it if you're gonna tell the whole story.
I said, I give you that. I give you that. You know, in roles, we have to do things that are murderous or hateful or whatever the situation is, and that's why I said I'm going to stay away from that. I'm going to keep it in the context of this conversation, of this comment. Leave that to those people, and I'm just going to keep it here.
How many?
I'm being honest.
If I put on a Christian play, how many devils can I find? You know, how many? You know, to play these parts, I have to go look outside the church for them.
Well, be
come
prepared.
in and play the part.
And I answer: be prepared. Be prepared for the lasting result, possibly.
All right,
It's a
here's my thing.
dangerous game.
Yeah, I hear you. I agree to a certain extent. But let me ask you, you know, Brother Al, you maybe can speak to this, right? Because there's different styles to acting, right? You know, I think what we kind of lean into what we're talking about is more like method acting, wherein like you immersely, mentally, and all your whole being becomes
That's into that role.
as this person. Like if you're a drug addict, you become that drug addict. If you're a drug dealer, that's your mindset. Like Denzel Washington in Training Day, you know, he was that person. And like, even when it wasn't shooting, he was still in character mode. We know we got a good friend, Damian Bailey. You know, I just see him and he was totally in that character. I mean, drinking the Henny and everything. He was totally in that mode. But then you have another style that they're not there's another style. They're not personally involved. They just other skill set to get that job done. It's not so much a mentality that that's their whole being and stuff like that. So I guess my question is then, so regardless, so it doesn't matter the style, because so like Michael Williams, he is pulling from personal experience that's getting him in trouble. He's not looking at a situation that he's unfamiliar with and acting effectively in another character he has no relationship to and making convincing. So I guess so it doesn't matter that you got to really be a really gay person to play a gay part. You know what I'm saying? There has to be a method, skill acting to really get that job done. You know what I'm saying? So you get what I'm saying? So
I get it, and that's where I'm going. When you immerse yourself so far, because there are people who really get into these roles. They walk up in the crack house because they got to pay a crackhead, and now they don't want to just portray. They don't want to just do the part. They want to be the part. And when you immerse yourself that deeply, you're playing a dangerous game. It's not just reciting lines. It's not just blocking. There are people who really do such deep character study that they become that individual. And that's what I'm talking about. That's why I said I'm going to keep it contained to what we're talking about. Because these people who are portraying these, portraying these these particular roles, again, keep it in context of what we're talking about. He's playing this role. He's a Christian person. He's portraying this role where he's stripping. He's portraying this role where he's somebody's boy toy. You really got to immerse yourself into that. That is not going to be something that you just surfacely, because your whole, everything about that character says this here. It's not.
Are you
just
sure about that stuff,
up.
though? Really? He can't be. That can't be another mental scout. So after they say cut, he's good. He's not mentally there like that.
That's what I was going to say. You're not. Again, I said individual. Let the individual speak for it. If you're not just reading your lines, that's why I said a few minutes ago. Are you reading your lines and just doing the blocking, or have you immersed yourself into this role and go into character study? When you're going into character study and now you're portraying that from that depth, that's what you're talking about, like with Damien, and he's drinking now in order to become that character. That's that character study that puts me so deep in. What are you compromising now? I'm not just memorizing a line and just learning the blocking, and then when it's cut, I'm off and I'm good. I don't know, Al, you the actor. I'm just talking about from that angle.
Yeah, man. I seen you play a drug dealer and do all kind of crazy stuff, bro.
well, you know what happens is, and Pastor Steph is so correct. I've been blessed to do some things with Pastor Steph, and Pastor Steph have a way of pulling the best out of you, which I love about her. You know, we might get mad at her, or you might Pastor Steph get on my nerve, but she has that pulling the best, and not only as an actor, but as a person, you know, and the pleasure of working with Pastor Steph, and it's correct, because let me tell you, after every show that I have done or do, and people like, yo, after the show we're gonna go get something to eat, I'm like, bet. And after that show, I am drained. I'm like, man, I'm going home and I'm going to rest because I'm tired. Because you get yourself, and everybody, and like Pastor Steph said, everybody has their method. Like, I always played a funny character because that's my personality anyway. So that was easy for me to do. And then people started putting me in different roles, where one, I had to play a guy who was abused his wife and stuff. I had to play a drunk. So what I did was, my first and foremost is to learn my lines. I got my lines down. Okay, I'm good now. Now I can do other things. So I started studying, watching people. Like unfortunately, my uncle was a drunk. You know, he was in the Vietnam War, and for him to get, to get relief, he drank so he wouldn't have those nightmares. And I watched him. I watched his every move and what he did. So I betrayed him. You know what I'm saying? I betrayed when I saw this actor played beating on his wife and stuff, but he wasn't crazy. He was just psychotic. I'm like, wow, I kind of like that. So I emulated that. I didn't go and say, well, you know what? Let me start beating on Tamika so I can get in the character. Tamika comes out and see how it feels. You know, those are people who get, I guess maybe don't trust that, hey, I could just do it. I need to go into the crack. I ain't going into no crack house. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going into, so that's just like saying, okay, I'm gonna play a gay role. Let me start dating men. No, I'm not doing that. So it really, like Pastor Steph said, it depends on the individual, and it worked for me because and not toot my own horn, I won Best Actor in Pastor Steph's show when she had her gospel award. I done won Best Actor of the Year twice. I done won, and I done none of that. I just sat there and said, okay, how do I want this character to be played? Or how do the director want this character? I asked him, how do you want this character? Then I started looking up certain things and become that character. But I ain't trying to get that deep in where after the show, they come over and say, Al, you okay? Yeah, somebody called 911. We gotta get him in therapy. No, sir.
No, thank you for flushing that out for us, Brother Al, because that makes a lot of sense. Let me catch up on some of these comments, because I didn't even realize some of these comments were coming through. So Terrence says that's how Keith Ledger died, from an overdose by trying to play the Joker. He was one. They did talk about, after he passed away, they talked about how he had submerged himself into that role, and he had completely transformed that even his people did not recognize him, because as far as he was concerned, he was going to be the Joker. So good point, Terrence. Pastor Brenda says, it's hard enough for me to be me, let alone take on another person. Amen. Or persona. And got that, Pastor Brenda. Tamika says Michael K. Williams was like Pookie in New Jack City. Absolutely. Tamika also says Lawrence Fishburne as like Turner, and what's love got to do with it? You have to identify with the individual so that you become the individual to make it believable. Jill Scott is Why Did I Get Married is another example. Tamara says also that Christian man playing those roles, that could be the only roles that was open that nobody wanted to take, and he just wanted the job. Tamika says, I wish I would. Don't y'all be fooled. It will be a whole nother show. So again, that's why I said, it's an individual thing. If you are that type, I've had people come to me. Now, Ainsley started with me from scratch. I hadn't done anything. All I had was a bare script. And since then, I have been asked, very, very a high compliment, asked to direct other people's material. And I was like, I don't know. That was my thing, but it was like, take a shot. And I did it. And you as a director, like Al said, you go to the director and you're like, okay, what are you thinking about this? Well, before he could go to the director, you as the director have to go to the writer, because you have to understand what's the writer trying to portray. I've now got a dialogue with you to figure out, well, what are you trying to get at here? Am I understanding you? Because people are not going to the writer. People are coming to the director. So you're right. When people go, you now have to give direction as to that's not quite what the writer wanted, or that is what. A lot of times you give the actor a lot of latitude, because what they bring can shift a lot of that storyline, and that can really enhance what the writer is ultimately trying to put out there that they didn't even think about. So you yourself have to control how much is that going to control you. You can't allow it to control you. You have to see. That's why I said there's a difference between, I'm just going to learn my lines, I'm going to learn the blocking, I'm going to do this thing, and when I walk off, I'm good. I talked about this here before. I've had a problem. Anybody that knows me, Ainsley and Al, I'm a disciplinarian. It's not just about.
Oh, yeah. Boy, are you a disciplinarian?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
No, there's certain things you're gonna do. There's certain things you're not gonna do. We're not doing that. Listen to you too. But the point I'm trying to make is, there would be, when we would be in rehearsal, that's who I am. I'm not Steph. I'm the director on the site. I'm directing the play. When we would be finished, then I'm like, come on, let's go get something to eat. We hungry because we've been rehearsing, we've been at work, blah, 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 blah. And I've had people who would literally not want to go out, or was thrown when I said, come on, let's go get something to eat, because they were looking at who I was during rehearsal. And I had to make an announcement. Okay, well, you not hungry? Then don't ever eat with me again. Because if you are sensitive and you wearing your sensitivity on your sleeve, then I can't eat with you. Understand that was my job. My job was to do what I needed to do to get you to where we need to get to. Now we finished. Now I want to go eat. Now, if I got to worry about you cutting your eye at me across the table at White Castle, then we got a problem. All I want to do is just eat my burgers and my fries and my onion rings. But again, that wasn't because when they walked out, I was still sitting at the White Castle table talking about, okay, now, how are you going to eat? Okay, now, are you eating with your mouth open? Oh, are you smacking? No, that was who I was at the time. And it's pretty much, that's what it needs to be for some people. Because if they get too deep, that's it. That's it. Thus the Keith Ledger, thus the Michael K. Williams. So it has to be an individual thing. So as I said, Brother Al flushed it out really well to describe what I was saying. So
and also, you know, you have to be prepared, because when I first played that the bad guy role, because I always had comedian, a lot of people came, because a lot of people doubted me. Man, you always saying something funny. I can't see you being a bad guy. And so that motivated me to say, you know what, I'm going to prove these people wrong. And it was so crazy, because after the show, you know, I was out greeting people. And, you know, there was a couple of women, they were mad at me because I beat the girl. And one woman, I said, hey, how you doing? She's like, don't say nothing to me. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. That was just a show. Don't say that to me. I was like, okay.
Right,
I said,
right.
I'm glad I made you a believer. You have a great day.
And that's what they say. They say that if you could make people believe that that's who you are, then you're a good actor, if that's not who you are. But there are many people who look at the TV screen and they're like, I can't stand. So, and you're like, that is a role. You do understand it. That's not that person. That is the portrayal that's going on. So, you know, this, I got to come back next week, God spares, because there's another piece of this that was really, really challenging against the Christian community. And I'm coming back to that. So Shantice, remind me to come back to that. But this was a great conversation. Thank you so much. Pastor Jeff, I hope you got an answer to your question as to how we make the difference in doing these things. But I always love you guys. You give some thought-provoking conversations. Thank you so much. We pray you had a blessed day.
You too. Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Woo! That was a good one. As you know, I don't know if y'all noticed, but these conversations have been getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Yeah, this ain't no joke. This ain't no joke. This is really getting, some nice conversations. And, we have to make sure that, there's a role we play at, as actors, as people of God. We have to really be very careful. We've talked on here several times on It's Due Time that certain roles in life, certain occupations, Christian people really need to stay away from, because it compromises your morals. And some people don't believe it can happen. Some people don't, but it's real. It's real. Listen, the word of God itself says, don't hang out with an angry man, because you yourself might become angry. Listen, that right there shows you that there could possibly be some compromising of your character, some shift of your character unintentionally. Because you're not thinking, if I hang out with an angry person, I'm going to become angry, because I'm not an angry person on a regular basis. But the word of God does caution us. Be careful of the company you keep. God cannot be mocked. So I think if we start delving into the word of God, this stuff would become a lot more clear to us. We got a check-in from Miss Grace. Good morning, Miss Grace. Thank you so much for joining us and letting us know you good. When we take these roles, we've had this conversation here before. Should Christian people take, certain roles and things like that, like I said? And the answer is, for certain people, absolutely not. If you can't find yourself so to the point where you can just exit left and to exit stage left, then that might be something for you to kind of steer clear of. I remember years ago, we were working with Dwayne, and we were auditioning, and the role we gave the individual to read, it was an emotional role where she had to cry and things like that. So she did very well, actually. And when we finished, he, after a while, he kind of pulled her to the side. He was like, "Are you okay?" And this was very early. I didn't know anything about this stuff. And he was explaining to me, he said, I asked her that because sometimes we get so deep in the character, because he's an actor, very, very, very good actor. He was. I don't know if he's still acting now, but he was like, sometimes we get so immersed into the role that we can't step out. He said, I've seen people go into roles where they're crying and they're emotional and they're upset. And he said it took a long time for them to kind of step out of that. And this is the nature of the game. You know, this is what we have to guard ourselves against. You know, and I'll tie it in here. And I think I told the story before here, where there was someone a girlfriend, who I had been speaking to for quite a while, and she was going through some stuff. And God just had me, you know, say some things to her. And a lot of people don't understand. By the time you get to me, it's a wake-up call. I don't think a lot of people understand that about me. I am the most loving, caring, I can be the most gentle person. But by the time you get to Pastor Steph, by the time you get to Stephanie, I'm hard. I'm tough. I'm rough. But it's not where I start with you. I always ask a lot of questions. I always, you know, I'm very considerate of the things you say. I absorb everything you say. So it was time for me to respond, and God had me say some things to her. And I noticed that she kind of backed up. I didn't hear from her. We had been talking on a regular basis. And she had stopped talking. And I couldn't get to her. I'd reach her, reaching out to see how she's doing, wouldn't answer me. So when she looked up, I was standing at her door one day. And she opened the door. She was like, oh man. So she had someone in her home, so we couldn't openly speak. And I had only gone there for one reason. And I was like, what's your problem? Because we had known each other for quite so many years, but we hadn't gotten to that point in all those years. And she said to me, she said, when I was talking to you and I wanted the response of a sister friend. I didn't want the pastor response. And I listened, and she talked about how, firm and, I had spoken, and I didn't yell, just firm. And she was like, I needed pretty much a more gentler side. And I just stood there and looked at her, because my response was, then you don't know me very well. Because I am not going to give you the answer you want because we're sister friends, but yet I'm not going to give you the pastor response, because I am the pastor response. There is no two separate Stephanies. I don't know who you thought in all the years you and I have been friends. You don't know me by now. You don't know that we could joke, laugh, or whatever, but there's a certain line you're not going to step over without me displaying who I am. And I'm not going to be fake. And I'm not going to tell you, girl, you tell me your man, then you caught your man in the car with another woman, and I'm like, yo, yeah, let's go key that car. But yet on Sabbath, I'm going to stand at the pulpit and I'm going to say something different. We should love our neighbors as ourselves. No, I might understand why you wanted to key that car, but I'm not going to tell you, and I'm not going to be a part of keying that car, because I know what God wants, not just for me, but for you. Not just for you, but for me. And God is utilizing me. You're coming. You could have gone to talk to anybody else. You knew who you were talking to when you didn't call Shaquita to go key that car, but you went to Steph. See, I'm not just Pastor Steph on the pulpit. There's no Steph and Stephanie. There's no this one. No, I am who I am. And I'm not going to tell you nothing different. And that's something that we need to make sure people understand we are not separate than what the word of God says. I don't live two different lives. I couldn't live like that. That thing would drive me crazy, especially now that I'm in my older age and I'm not doing as well upstairs. You know, because the sickness I have, it messes with you mentally at times. Now, I don't mean that I'm cuckoo, but for those of you who understand what I'm saying, I'm hoping you understand what I'm saying. I can't live no dual life. I can't immerse myself with people who are going to take me back to who I used to be. You know, so I'm going to hang out with the partiers and the drinkers and the druggers because I've now come into the Lord and I can go hang out with that. No, if that's not my life, that's not my world anymore, then guess what? We ain't hanging together like that no more. Then you and I may go out and get something to eat and it's just me and you. But me hanging out with all of y'all and everybody at the table is drinking and that could not be me. That just could not be me. I can't go that route. And that's what the word of God talks about. So that's why I say you have to be very careful of the roles you take in this acting thing if you're a Christian. Because if you are the type that you need to, like Halle Berry, went up in the crack house to learn how to, that was her very first role in Jungle Fever as a crackhead. And boy, did she do that job well. But she said in order to do that, she went up in the crack houses and she did character study. And her friends told her, girl, are you crazy? You ain't got no business up in there. But for her, that's how she was going to get to that character. And like I said, she may not have to do it now because now she's a crackjack actress. But when she first started, she had to do that as far as she was concerned. Well, what happens when that now becomes who you are? Stop telling me, oh, you know, Steph, you just, you ain't gonna, I just quoted you. Just don't keep company with an angry person because you may very well become angry. And y'all ain't gonna tell me that y'all don't experience this thing. There are times I have to step away from my youngest daughter. She knows how, they call it rage bait now. She knows her boys, that girl knows how to keep me riled up. So on Sabbath morning, I have gotten to the point, we have very little dialogue because I'm fixing myself. See, I'm not just going to sit in church. I'm not just going to sit in service. I have to go deliver the word of God. So I have to wake up, go to bed, wake up that morning on Sabbath morning. I've got to keep my head straight. Because if I don't, how am I going to deliver the word of God properly? And I'm going to tell you something, I feel the difference. And that's how I knew from years ago. There's only a certain amount of conversation I'm going to have with her. When I see she's like at that mode where she's riling me up. Because remember, we don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against powers and principalities. That cosmic conflict is going on all the time. I got to guard me because if not, then I'll be yelling and all kinds of things. She done made me mad. So y'all going to have to understand this thing here. The word of God speaks of cautioning yourself. Be sober, be vigilant. Stop walking. That's what I keep saying. Your feet ain't got no business going everywhere. You ain't got no business hanging with everybody because that stuff begins to alter you. Don't you remember you are flesh and blood? Don't you forget that you are flesh and spirit? You can quench the spirit of the Lord. So even if you're a Christian person, people can take you there. Now, they're not going to bring this out of you. You know, they're going to make me step in that other thing that they always say, you know, bring me out my character. If it ain't in you, you ain't going to do it. But if you can get there, the enemy will see to it that you do. So when it comes to this thing, we have to guard ourselves, but not just in acting. We have got to guard ourselves against life, against what is happening in real life. This is important. So as a Christian man, this is one of the reasons why they don't take you seriously. Because here you are now preaching, and the first thing they threw up was what? Well, look at all you portraying. Look at what you doing. Look at who you are. See, you got to be very careful, because now it's used against you. Where you may have said, Terrence asked the question, well, what if it's just the only job? Let me tell you something, Terrence, about God. With God, if it's something that you're not supposed to be doing, or what you're doing is questionable, there will never be a one way, not with God. And that's why I keep trying to relay each day. See, when you're not optionless when it comes to the Lord. It's almost like that person who says, listen, my family ain't have nothing to eat. I had to go to the store. I had to steal me a steak. Listen, I did what I had to do because I was going to let my family get hungry, go hungry, be hungry. Yo, my kids had to eat. I had to be on my grind. And if my grind meant that I had to go up in that store and steal and put that thing in my jacket, I had to do it. That's not God. That's not God. Because his commandment says don't steal. That's not going to be your only recourse. If God wants you to keep his commandment, he is going to open up doors for you. So for those who have said, because I've had a lot of people say, well, what if that's your only? Not in God. God has so many doors open. How do I know? I'm going to take you back to the scripture. God says there is no temptation that is uncommon to man, but that God will not give a way out. You're tempted to go to what you know. So that, I had to steal because you knew you were good at that thing. You could get that steak up out that store to feed your family. That's the temptation. But that God does not give a way out is what we rely on. I know there's a God that will definitely make room for me to do the right thing. Will I have to now go and let somebody know that I ain't got no food to feed my kids and my pride is sending me to that supermarket to steal? Opposed to asking, and I don't want everybody to know that we doing that bad. Humility will take you a long way. Humility, that hiding, that cloaking, that's the enemy that says, I ain't letting nobody in my business. No, that's not God. Because see, God's going to send you, when you pray over that thing, God's going to send you to someone who is not going to shame you for not having at this particular moment. Or better yet, a closed mouth never gets fed. I've seen people give a testimony in church, and now people are giving them money. I got an extra bonus in my check. Here, God wanted me to bless you with this. So there's no shame in that. I've watched how God would say, you know what? I'm having Sunday dinner. You know what? Why don't you bring the kids over? And you sitting on the back end going, phew, that's not me, thank God. But I've seen it. Phew, thank you, God. Now I ain't got to worry about Sunday's meal. And when you get there, they done made so much. They're like, you know what? Here, I done made so much, here, let me pack you up a pan for you to take home. See, that's God. God's not going to put you in no position where you got your back up against the wall and you have to sin. And you know it's a sin. How do I know? Let's go back to the word of the Lord. The word of the Lord says to know it's a sin, but to do it anyway is sinning. Transgression. God's not going to have our back up against the wall. And now we like, oh my God, the only way I can get this done is by, no. You got to trust God. And that means we're going to go back to trusting God in everything. So trust God for that job. Trust God for that acting role. Trust God for everything. And you will never, ever, ever have to worry about anything. Will it get tough, rough, tight? Absolutely. But you ain't never going to be stuck in the Lord. You've been watching It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. Join us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. where we discuss matters of the heart, mind, and spirit. As you go through your day, be sure to set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on the earth. They will only serve as a distraction. Remember, prayer changes things. It's Pastor Steph signing off, and I want to thank that Due Time crew, amen, for coming through big time and always sending us into a thought-provoking weekend. Thank you for hanging out with us and helping to keep that chat room alive. Please do not miss this opportunity to give Christ your life right now. Please do not miss this opportunity to strengthen that relationship with the Lord right now, because later is not promised to any of us. Until Sunday, God spares, where we'll be in the prayer room. Come on and see what we're going to be praying about, as well as let's talk about resilient living. Until then, God spares, I love you.